What's up, Timmons here. With today being the birthday of the iconic actor Paul Newman, I decided to do my top 10 favorite Paul Newman movies because the guy's a living legend. So here is my official top 10. All right. Coming in at number 10 is the 1990 film Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. Now, it's about a restrained portrait of a wealthy Midwestern marriage quietly unraveling through like an emotional, distant, and unspoken regret here. And here you got Newman, who portrays the role of Walter Bridge, who's like this, emotionally grid, and very blind to his wife's loneliness, subtle, controlled, and devastating, and it's very also devastating at times too. It is a rare and intimate Newman and Woodward collaboration that was like late in their careers. And of course, really good chemistry with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, who they were really icon in their own right. And this was also directed by James Ivory, who would go on to also write the script for Call Me by Your Name, and he's done some other stuff here and there. Really good little film. Of course, Joanne actually scored an Oscar nomination. I think Paul Newman got one too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but it's a really decent film. If you guys have seen that. All right, coming in at number 9 is HUD. HUD, of course, stars Paul Newman. And it's more like this bankrupt Texas rancher clashes with his principled father over greed, responsibility, and the future here. And HUD is like a selfish, charismatic, and cool character, and he really weaponizes his charm very wonderfully here, making HUD very fascinating. You know, you also do got like Melvin Douglas, Patricia Neal, directed by Martin Riff, who of course has directed some other really great stuff. Let me post some of his other stuff that he's directed. Of course, Martin directed stuff like Stanley and Iris, Norma Ray, a movie called Nuts, many others. And this is a really decent collaboration from them. All right, coming in at number 8 is one of his like later films, and that is Nobody's Fool. Nobody's Fool is about this aging handyman who navigates love, family, and pride in a small New York town here. And it stars like Newman as the suburban, sarcastic, deeply human. And it was a really great late career performance for Newman. I can't remember how old he was at the time, but he did play the part very well here. Jessica Tandy was great. Bruce Willis even was in this. Melanie Griffith, a really decent performance, to say the least. Of course, directed by Robert Benton, who did a really good job directing this one too. Of course, Robert Benton done other stuff like Feast of Love, Billy Bargath, The Human Stein, and this is actually his better film in my opinion. And I'm a little surprised that Paul Newman didn't get an Oscar nomination, but to be honest, it got released in 1994, and that year was pretty packed as it is, so maybe that could be it. All right. Number 7 is The Verdict, directed by the great Sidney Lumet, featuring Charlotte Rapley, Jack Warden, James Mason, and it's more like an alcoholic lawyer takes on a medical malpractice case that becomes his like last chance at redemption. And this is actually one of his best performances. Really, he of course plays the part very well. Great. He of course plays like the broken, stubborn, and quietly heroic character really decent. Newman really strips away his charm and plays like the law. This is like one of the better like law type films there is. One of his better performances in years. Really good performance there. Sidney Lumet really gives good performances out of his actors. All right, number 6 is Slapshot. Now, at the time, Paul Newman was not really always known for when it comes to comedy. This really showcased that he actually had some comedic chops. The film. This is of course one of the best hockey movies there is. Before Heat Rivalry came around, this was like the heated rivalry of the 70s, really. And of course, this movie here was directed by Joy Roy Hill, who's directed. Let me just say, George Roy Hill to Paul Newman is what Michael B. Jordan is to Ryan Coogler, or Leo DiCaprio is to Scorsese. They have like a really good working relationship. And Slapshot is about like the minor league hockey team who turns violent into success and chaos here. And here you got Newman, who plays the washed-up coach who embraces brutality to keep his team alive. It's very hilarious. Really showcase how good Newman could be when it comes to comedy. It is a really hilarious one. If you guys never seen Slapshot, go watch it. It's a really good one there. All right. Number 5 is the Towering Inferno. The Towering Inferno is a really classic one. I mean, you got folks from Steve McQueen to William Holden, Faye Dunaway, OJ Simpson, believe it or not. I mean, talk about great cast lists here. It is, of course, an iconic disaster movie about a skyscraper that catches on fire during a grand opening. And Newman plays this principal architect who is very furious that safety shortcuts cause like their disasters here. And this movie is one of the best disaster movies there is. It's really interesting, very entertaining at times. Lots of directors today will tell you that lots of their disaster type stuff they do nowadays, was an inspiration for like Towering Inferno was an inspiration for their films that they make today nowadays, and it's a really good one. If you guys never seen Towering Inferno, give it a go. And Newman is a really good performance there. Number 4 is The Hustler. Now, of course, there was a long way sequel that came out after this, which was The Color of Money with Tom Cruise. I was going between either The Hustler or The Color of Money. I'm going with The Hustler. The Hustler is a really good one. Directed by Robert Rosen, featuring Paul Newman, the Honeymooners guy, Jackie Gleason. You had Piper Laurie, who would go on to play Margot White in the Carrie series. You got George C. Scott, some iconic actors in this series. It's about a gifted but self-destructive pool player who challenges legendary hustlers while grappling with pride, love, and self-worth. And this is definitely one of the better movies since the 60s. It's really terrific. Great performances by Newman. Jackie Gleason, seeing him go a little more serious tone, because at the time he was always known for for obviously the Honeymooners fame. So seeing him really get into the dramatic territories was pretty cool. I mean, it's such a really good one. If you guys never seen it, highly recommend it. All right. Speaking of George Roy Hill, by the way, number 3 is The Sting. The Sting, of course, stars Robert Redford and Paul Newman as two conmans who orchestrate an elaborate long game scam against a ruthless mob boss. The Sting is a really good one. Of course, I think he actually won a couple of Oscars. Let me go check. The Sting Oscars. I can't remember if it won any Oscars or not. He actually got a couple, Best Picture and all. It actually has 6 18 wins and 6 nominations. I mean, yeah, it's a really decent one. Great performances by Newman. I mean, Newman and Redford both really played off each other well. Again, they are on this list twice here because they really just had a great on and off again relationship with one another. Of course, Robert Shaw, from Jaws fame was great in this. It's such a really good one. If you guys haven't seen this thing, give it a go. All right. Number 2, speaking of Robert Redford and George Roy Hill, number 2 is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Where two charming outlaws robs banks and trains across the American West. And, man, this is definitely one of the best Western type movies there is. The chemistry with Redford and Newman is great. Catherine Ross is terrific. Great performances all around here. It's a really interesting, fun, robbery type film. I mean, if you guys have not seen it, give it a go. If you highly recommend that. They've been talking about doing a new version of Butch and Cassidy. I think Glenn Powell was attached at one point. I don't know if that's still ever happening or not, but hey, not to be the OG, right? And the best one is Cool Hand Luke, which I think he actually scored a couple of Oscars. Let me see. Cool Hand Luke. Oscars. Yeah, score a couple of. But yeah, Cool Hand Luke, I think it's definitely one of Paul Newman's best performances, at least. Of course, actually, it won George Kennedy an Oscar. And of course, it's about a drifter who is sentenced to suffer in prison chain gang, where like his refusal to conform turns into a folk hero among the inmates, and it's definitely one of the best prison movies, until like Shawshank Redemption came around. But it's such a really good one. Great, like one of Newman's best works. Like people probably include like we'll say Butch Cassidy as a favorite, or maybe even The Sting. But to me, I think the best thing he's ever done is Cool Hand Luke. One of his best things he's ever put out, one of his best performances, in my opinion. If you guys never seen it, give it a go. It's such a classic, to say the least. I mean, one of the best movies of 1967, too, by the way. Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here's my quick rundown. Number 10, Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. Number 9, HUD. 8, Nobody's Fool. 7, The Verdict. 6, Slapshot. 5, The Towering Inferno. 4, The Hustler. 3, The Sting. 2, Butch Cassidy and the Son of His Kid. And number 1 is Cool Hand Luke. Oh, and a little tidbit, by the way, for any Pokemon fans. You guys know the other Team Rocket characters from Pokemon, Butch and Cassidy? They're actually based on the Butch and Cassidy movie, by the way. Just a little interesting tidbit there. But anyway, there's a couple of others I could have included as well. Let's see. There's also, The Color of Money, Road Trip Edition, Cars. After Newman sadly passed away, and when Cars 3 came around, they actually used unused footage for his character for Cars 3, which I thought that was really nice. Let's see. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is a good one. Harper. Exodus. Like, there's some other great ones I could have included. Empire Force is a really good one. The Hudsucker Proxy. The movie Twilight, not to be confused with the vampire one. This is the one with Reese Witherspoon and other folks. But let me ask you guys, what are some of your favorite Paul Newman films? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Newman.